So you have been researching on Buckeye, Arizona, and I'll bet all the videos you saw told you how amazing it was and it was great. And yes, no, I'm not going to give you what the other people are telling you. I'm going to tell you what it's really like. I was out there the entire day scoping it out just for you, and I have to tell you, I don't have a whole lot of great things to say about Buckeye, so don't go anywhere because I'm going to break it down right after this. All right, guys, I am not here to sell you. I am here to tell you what it's really like to live in these areas. If you haven't looked through my videos, I'm telling you, when I say I'm going to go through the good, bad, and the ugly, I'm going to be brutally honest. It's your job to decide what works best for you. It's my job to make sure you are well informed. Let's talk about Buckeye and all the different areas. People don't realize how large Buckeye is. To be honest with you, I want to say it was a couple decades ago, there was a little bit of a land grab, and they were trying to incorporate as much land as possible before a particular proposition had passed. And I don't know, there's some question about how some of this land got incorporated. And to be honest with you, right now, there's not a whole lot of services available in the city of Buckeye. So that's something that you're going to want to make sure you look at closely when you move here. You don't think about it, but how close are fire services? How many police officers are there in your neck of the woods? Look, when you need them, you need them. You don't need them all the time. You don't need them in front of your face all the time. So we started off in what we all call Old Buckeye. So I'll be honest with you, it was a little scary for me. It reminded me when I drove through Texas and there were all these cute little, well, I thought they were cute, little tiny towns. And many people say godforsaken towns because I'll be honest with you, there was just no motivation of any kind there at all whatsoever. There was nothing that I went, oh, cute, how adorable. No. So, you know, downtowns can change quickly in the sense that to build a large housing community, it's going to take you about 20 years. The downtown is going to take about 25 years. So if you're wondering how soon the town of Buckeye is going to be fun to go visit and hang out in, I'm going to say about 20 years. And I'm not being sarcastic here. I moved to Chandler in the 90s, and the downtown Chandler area in the 90s was downright scary. So it can happen, but we're talking 25 to 30 years since I first moved here, and that's how long it really takes to build these downtown districts. So all the hype in the downtown Buckeye, I'm sure it's very exciting for city council and everybody that's coming together and doing this. But for now, scratch it off your list. It's not something that you really are going to go and enjoy. The housing is what really has brought people to Buckeye. And in my opinion, there's several different parts. Let's break them apart. Buckeye along Interstate 10. This is where you find the new communities that are cheap. And so when people just go online, they don't realize where they are in proximity to anything and everything else. I have seen new communities come into play in a better way than Buckeye. Boy, I wonder if I'm making sense. Santan Valley and Maricopa have way more to offer, and they are closer to more employment, even the airport, even parks, events, better schools, etc. I'm not saying Maricopa has better schools, but in the Southeast Valley as a whole, there's just a lot more to offer. It is expensive, so people tend to go to the outer lying areas. Buckeye, in my opinion, the new communities there are only offering new housing. That's it. There's no great schools. There's no amazing freeway access. There's not a ton of shopping. There's not events, activities. There's not even parks. I don't like it. How's that? I'll just be perfectly honest with you. The salesperson was amazing. I was really surprised to see cost per square foot about $230 for just a house in the middle of nowhere. I was with a production company. They asked me to come out and kind of help them navigate through how I saw things selling in the valley. And they were like, what else will be built here? I'm like, nothing. Like nothing. It's just the freeway, new home construction, which by the way is by a bunch of trailer park. And then the old Buckeye, which right now isn't anything to write home about. So let's just like sail right on west okay? We're gonna go all the way out west. We're going to hit, what was it called? Sun Valley Parkway. And as we're driving out, because I wanted to get to Taravalis, that's the big talk. Everybody's like, what's going on with Taravalis? It used to be called Douglas Ranch. It's 100,000 homes. They announced last October that they finally got it approved. The builder is promising an amazing city, very much like Summerlin in Las Vegas. But here's the difference. Summerlin is not out as far as Taravalis is from Phoenix, and we are in a water situation right now. It changes things completely. And with our current governor that just kind of changed how builders will obtain their water certificates or their building permits, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for builders out this far obtain building permits. My personal feeling is I think Taravalis is going to be postponed even further than we thought. That's just my gut feeling. Now, as we're driving out west, and I'm talking about driving out west, we're driving west. Like, honestly, I felt like I was heading to California for a vacation. Who drives this far outside of the greater Phoenix area just to go home? Like, this is just absolutely crazy. And then as I start driving to the exit that I'm going to be going north, the Sun Valley Parkway, I am reminded that the nation's largest nuclear power plant is right here. What in the world? I don't know. Like, I don't know about you guys. I would not want to live this close to a power plant. I don't care if it's 10 miles or even 20 miles. I don't want to live this close to a power plant. But as we're heading north, we see the first community that somebody came up with the idea, let's build a big community here. It's called Tartesso. Tartesso, not to be confused with Tortosa. You'd think the builders would get together a little bit, right? Oh, it's too close. We should change names. Anyways, Tartesso, I'll tell you, housing is cheap here. And this is why people buy out this far, is because they, first of all, maybe they come from an area where they're used to driving 30 minutes to an hour to get into the store. My grandmother used to always say, she lived way out in the middle of nowhere. She'd be like, we're going into town next weekend. Do you need anything? You know? So I get it. There are people that are used to drive. And Tartesso at somewhere between $135 and $150 a square foot. This makes sense. This makes sense. We're not even to the location where Taravalis is going to be. Like, yeah. So Tartesso, it was, you know, regular community, normal houses, community park that had, you know, splash pad. If you work in the southwest part of the greater Phoenix area and maybe are a single income because you can afford that at these prices, right? Okay, I'm kind of liking Tartesso. If you don't mind being this close to Palo Verde plant, okay? Now, we're going to continue north. We're going to continue north on Sun Valley Parkway. I mean, we're way out west. Now we're going way out northwest. Like, this is insanity. Why would you build a city out here when it has nothing? Like, literally, there's no services. There's limited water. And again, that's what some of the things that the governor has changed, that builders will now need to show their 100-year water supply in multiple sources, not just one, which is groundwater, which at this time, that is what Taravalis is planning on using. And although they received the approval, they don't have the permits to break ground yet. So if you look at their website, it tells you that they are, you know, building the main infrastructure right now, curb and gutter, and get the commercial space, you know, lined up. Some of the bare essentials that you'll need out here, like a grocery store and a gas station and things like that. And then they'll start building housing. Well, as you'll see in this video, in this part of the Phoenix area, not only is there's nothing worth out here, like there's not even mountain views. There's no mountain views. It's not even a pretty desert. If you guys are waiting to buy in Taravalis, just, you know what, cross it off your list for a while, because I'll tell you, between everything that's going on with the drought and now the changing with the permits and everything, I think it's going to be many more years before they even start building out there. There is no way a builder is going to take the risk to break ground and start building these homes when they're not sure that they will come, right? If you build it, they will come. Well, I think they might build it. I'm not so sure people are going to come unless we see some weather situations change out this way. So if you look at these maps, look how far, I'm telling you, from Taravalis to the Phoenix airport is 1 hour with no traffic. If there is an accident on Interstate 10, you're talking an hour and a half. It is just not even part of the Phoenix metro area. Tucson is almost closer. And they've always talked about how Tucson and Phoenix is going to come together. Not in my lifetime. Right, Sheryl, do you have anything good to say about Buckeye? Yes, I do. And this leads me to my last little city, or part of the city. I'm telling you, Buckeye is ginormous. Ginormous. On the way back in from Taravalis and passing Tartesso, passing Palo Verde, passing the new construction in Buckeye, I finally, as I start to get back into town, get to a place called Verrado. Now, I have to tell you, before I went discovery, all over Buckeye, I thought Verrado was far. Now it's, to me, back into town. Verrado is truly a breath of fresh air. I have to tell you, I love Verrado. Verrado costs right now are kind of in the low to mid 200 per square foot. There's all different types of construction. There's smaller, there's cluster homes, there's townhomes, there's bigger homes, there's regular neighborhoods, there's sprawled out neighborhoods. There's even an amazing 55 plus community up there called Victory. There is luxury communities, there's gated communities, there's mountain homes. I'm telling you, this makes sense. You know why? Because it's attached to the Phoenix area. It still feels like when you're driving out to Verrado, you're like, dang, it's a long drive. I just don't understand the further out. I really don't. But Verrado's one of my faves. And I love the little downtown, although it's not a complete downtown. You have everything you just a little bit need. You have a Costco that's over there. They are going to be opening up Verrado Marketplace over the next couple years, so there will be more shopping available. There's a couple of gas stations and there's a couple of grocery stores. They could have more gas stations, though, I do have to admit. But this was actually a community that was developed by DMB, a different developer, and I really like what they've done with the entire community because it's everywhere. Like there's trees and grass and parks and golf and community center, and there's a lot. I love the high school, like the big center, like all the kids hang out there, the community pool, like everybody hangs out. There's all these little parks in each of the neighborhoods, so everybody lives close to a park. If you're thinking of Buckeye, this girl right here is going to tell you focus on Verrado. And then while you're living in Verrado, then maybe you can watch for Taravalis, because I don't think, they say according to their website, it says that they are going to have their first model homes available in 2024 for their first closings of purchases in 2025. I don't know, a lot of things can change. Weather is going to play a big part of it, of course, and we'll just see what happens on an annual basis in reference to our drought. We had a wonderful water season in 2022. If that continues, it probably won't be a conversation in a couple of years, but it was a 23-year drought, so 1 year alone does not make it better. So if you guys are thinking of moving to the greater Phoenix area, please reach out, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Days, nights, or weekends, I want to be your information source. I would love to work with you, even if you're planning a year or 2 years in advance. Let's start talking about it today. I can get you on a different special list of where I send out market updates, let you know what's going on in the market. I don't put it on this channel because I don't want to timestamp everything. What I'm saying right now about Buckeye is going to be pretty much the game for the next many years. All right, guys, I want to be your source of information. Do not hesitate to call, text, email, days, nights, or weekends. We got your back when moving to Phoenix, Arizona. Until next time, see y'all soon. Bye.